The following Bible Bite is a brief excerpt from one of our Standing Firm Bible study videos. I pray that the Holy Spirit will use it to help you be more like Jesus and to stay in the battle.
Because Adam was established by God himself to be the representative of all his descendants. God made Adam the head of the human race. Because of that, all of Adam's descendants would receive the blessings of his obedience, or the punishment for his disobedience. Now, we talked about this some last time. I'm not going to repeat what I tried to communicate last time, because when we look at something like this and think about things like this, some of us think that just doesn't seem right, that doesn't seem fair, and we'll find ourselves judging God. But we don't need to go there and talk about that again, but you may need to go back and watch that. I hope you remember it. But it's really important that when we don't understand things because they're kind of difficult, that we not fall into the trap of trying to judge God and decide that we know better than God does. But here's another analogy that might help a little bit. I looked this up the other day. Our current national debt in the United States of America is something around $31 trillion. That's trillion with a T. $31 trillion. It's unimaginably huge, but it turns out to be approximately $100,000 for every citizen of this country, and approximately $250,000 for every taxpayer of this country. There's a scary internet page called the Debt Clock if you'd like to check out those numbers. It's scary because the numbers are so big. It's amazing. It's mind-boggling. And I don't see how it can go on much longer. But listen, you and I didn't individually acquire that debt, did we? But you and I are responsible for it. It's our debt. Men who represent us did that for us. I owe my $100,000. My wife owes her $100,000. You owe your $100,000. We have an 8-year-old granddaughter, Mackenzie. She owes her $100,000. We all owe $100,000. Why? I didn't ask for that. You know, I want to think about this. If our president, Joe Biden, insults the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, or maybe the president of China, Xi Jinping, and Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping decides to declare war on us, you and I didn't do anything personally to get us into that war, but we're part of a nation that President Biden represents. We find ourselves at war, whether we agree or not, whether we like it or not. Now, I know that's not a perfect illustration, but maybe it helps us get a little bit of understanding of the way things work. You know, this is just how things are. Because our relationship to Adam is like that. We're not only in him in a physical sense, we were in him in the sense that he was appointed by God to be the head of our race, our human race. By the way, this may also help us understand why God talks about Adam here instead of Eve. You know, some people say, wait a minute, Eve's the one that sinned first, but Adam wasn't the first one to sin. Of course he wasn't. We know it was Eve. She ate the fruit and she gave it to Adam. But God had not appointed Eve to be the head of the race. God appointed Adam to be the head of the race. And I'm going out on a limb here, but theoretically it seems to me if Adam had not eaten the fruit, Eve would have died, but Adam wouldn't have died. He was the head of the race.
If you'd like to watch the rest of this Bible study, or view the Standing Firm Bible Study playlist, or subscribe to my YouTube page, you may use the click boxes you will see here if you're watching this as a YouTube video. If you happen to be watching on Facebook, you can find those very same links in the text block that appears with the video. We would love for you to visit our class in person, so there's a link in the text block to a page where you can learn more about our class. If you prefer, you may text me or leave me a voicemail at 423-261-5562. That number's on your screen. May God bless you as you seek to glorify Him. Stay in the battle.